Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Vashan Brown. Opposition spokesman on finance Mark Golding is today arguing that some banks have taken the transition to a digital economy too far too soon. He says some banks are refusing to cash checks and are redirecting customers to electronic channels instead. Andrew Laidley has that story.
Complaints mounting that some commercial banks are refusing to cash checks, not because the check has bounced, but simply because the bank would prefer customers use electronic channels instead. It's the latest in a string of attempts by financial institutions to force customers online instead of standing in line. The ideology has become more urgent since the outbreak of the novel coronavirus COVID-19, which has forced banks to close certain branches and lay off staff. But while the move is a necessary one if Jamaica is to transition to a digital economy, opposition spokesman on finance Mark Golding is condemning the practice for how it is being done.
I fully understand the need for more digital payment usage. However, checks are lawful instruments under the Bills of Exchange Act. Checks are issued by banks to customers to use if they have checking accounts, and it is quite wrong for a bank to adopt a policy of refusing to cash a check drawn on an account which has funds in it to cover the check.
Mr. Golding maintains that it is unfair and unwise and could possibly be a breach of the contract governing the bank account. He argues that banks should not be issuing checkbooks to customers if they are going to refuse the use of those checks in a customary lawful manner. With that in mind, Mr. Golding is demanding that the central bank intervenes.
I therefore am asking Bank of Jamaica to look into this and to take steps to ensure that whichever banks may have adopted this policy cease to do so and allow checks to be cashed as long as the relevant ID is presented and there are funds in the account to cover the check.
But Jamaica isn't the only country toying with the idea of going digital. China has started trials on its new digital currency called eRMB in 4 major cities. It is said to be the first digital currency operated by a major economy. Andrew Laidley, TVJ News.
Currency trading ended today with the US dollar selling for $143.92. The Canadian dollar is going for $104.54. The pound closed the day at $176.66, while the euro is selling for $156.65. The JC index gained 1,535 points today, and the junior market index is down by 24 points. Among the winners were Main Event Entertainment Group, Carib Cement, Key Insurance, Lasco Financial Services, and Express Catering. On the losing side were Salada Foods, SSL Venture Capital, Knutsford Express Services, Epley, and 138 Student Living. And that's the Business Day. I'm Vashan Brown. Have a good evening.